Mr. Jeffrey Funk, welcome to Fridays with the Funk Collection.
Hey, with the funks, huh? Friday with the funks, it should be.
Friday with the Funks today. And hello, everyone. My name is Renee Funk. I am the co founder, together with this guy, of the Funk Collection, brokered by EXP Realty. Mr. Funk, thank you for your core value, agile.
Agile.
We had a little last minute pivot. So our guest today had a last minute pop up that wasn't able to make it. And thank goodness that you're here to back me up and say, yeah, let's have a conversation.
Let's do it. You're my favorite realtor that I like to talk to. So,
Oh, you're my favorite realtor. Isn't that fun? We can say that.
absolutely. Another core value. Fun.
So this is episode 5 of Fridays with the Fun Collection. We get together each and every Friday.
I didn't make the first top. I made the top 5. I squeaked in.
Top 5.
All
However,
right. Oh, you gotta start somewhere, right?
I do believe, though, that everything happens for a reason. And I don't know if you
Absolutely.
just heard me as I yelled across the house, because we are working from home this morning. That you know what today is, Mr. Funk?
I do know what today is. It's Friday. It's Friday with the funks.
Today, I'll give you another hint. Today is October 1st.
October 1st. And something happened like 4 years ago on October 1st, right? Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. October 1st
hmm
is.
It is our 4-year anniversary with EXP Realty. What a ride that's been, huh?
Oh my goodness. I, if I think back to myself 4 years ago, I had no idea. I had no idea. We had, for
Mm-mm.
me, I just have to talk about where my head was at that time when we made the decision to come to EXP Realty. My gut was telling me yes, right? But I had no idea how good it was going to be.
The rocket ride, huh? It's been a little bit of a rocket ride. So, I mean, what's
What were
happened in
you
those four
thinking?
years? We were at what, 6 agents when we came over 4 years ago, and $17 million in team production, and now we are trending this year for $250 million in our Windermere office. Like, that's a rocket ride. It's been fun.
That's a rocket ride. Those are some very proud numbers to share. It is staggering to think 4 years ago, 6 agents, you and I. Now, just in Orlando, we have 92 agents.
hmm
Just in Orlando, 92 agents proudly working together with us in our Windermere office. Oh my gosh, incredible. If you were to look back today at yourself 4 years ago today, what what would you say, or what's changed?
Oh man, what's changed? There's been so much that's changed. I think so much learning that has been going on. I think I would, probably tell myself, that the time blocking has been huge over the last 4 years. Like, know when you're in your spot and when to be where you need to be. No, I think that ultimately, I think that I would be telling my kind of the things that I knew back then is that we were getting into something that was it was proven, but they were still, we used to say, what, the train was moving and they were laying the tracks. So it was a company back then that you had to be really agile, another core value, right? That we've been talking about here. But you just knew that this was going to work. I think you had to have a firm belief in EXP and what Glenn was standing for and how everything was going to work. And just to remind myself, like, yeah, this is the real deal, and that you're going to be on a great ride, and trust the system is probably what I would say most, is trust the system.
Totally agree. I remember the days that the track was being laid as the train was barreling down the path. There were some bumpy days back then. Remember when we had I think it was a couple months into you and I joining EXP Realty, and we had like a 3 or 4 week wait for onboarding. So when agents would
Oh
come
yeah.
to us to join, we would say,
Well,
"That's
come on.
fantastic. Come on board." It
We'll get
takes
back
three
to you
to
in a
four
month.
weeks. Yeah. And oh my gosh, God love the staff back then, because what was happening was this massive influx, right? And so it was being a part of EXP at a time where we were learning as we went, and there was scaling happening before our very eyes. It was fun days.
It was a lot of fun, and I think that that's why I say is was trust the system because we did it wasn't perfect at that point, and nothing that is evolving is always going to be perfect. And I think that's just something that you have to remind yourself as you go along. Is there's always going to be iterations of a system, and you're not going to get it perfect on the first time. We're not
Yeah.
perfect, so fail forward and keep the train moving and that'll be great. I think when we joined, we were about 4,500 agents in the company. We went down to they had the EXP Con was in Fort Lauderdale. We went down there. We had just joined. We didn't know anybody there. Everybody made us feel really at home there, and we realized when we were coming out of there, like, wow, we stumbled into something that is going to be amazing here and it's just kept on giving and giving and giving to us.
Shout out to Mitch Riback, right? Shout out to
Absolutely.
Mr. Mitch. Mr. Mitch was instrumental in sharing this amazing opportunity with us, because you mentioned we were opening our branch office, and the reality was is we were on the cusp of considering opening our own brokerage, right? Like that's the natural progression you often hear in the real estate
Yeah.
industry is you're an individual agent, which you were, and then you wet noodled me enough that you said, "Come on, join me." And so I was kicking and screaming for a while. Thank goodness I listened to you. You know, I go on record all the time to say it's your forever. I told you so, because you were right.
I'll take it.
So we were you had doodled me, then it was you and I for some years together, which was fun and bumpy and messy also. Fast forward to about 5.5 years ago, maybe coming up on 6 years now, then we started building a team, brought on some agents, and then that natural progression, so they say, often go ahead and open up your own brokerage. And you and I were on that very cusp when Mitch said, Jeff and Renee, you may want to take a look at this little company.
This new model.
Yeah, new model, this disruptor. But it was small at that time, even though EXP had been around for years and years already when we had first learned. It was small. When we came on board, there were a little less than 5,000 agents.
Yeah, 4,500. So yeah, and it really does. So we came over here, and it was a great move because I think what you talk about the progression of the real estate agent, and you start out new agent, don't have any business, you join a team, you join a brokerage that maybe is going to help you build your book of business. Um, Over time, you build up to a point where maybe you don't need the team or you're ready to build your own team, so you get an admin staff, and then you start generating more stuff for you. You bring agents in, and then you outgrow the brokerage, and then what happens to that broker? They're left with nothing at that point. So that's why a lot of times you see that there is in the brokerage model there's a ceiling there, and it's an imposed ceiling by the brokers a lot of times that they don't want to see you leave.
Yeah.
And here we celebrate growth. So it's completely different. So if we have an agent that's growing, we want to help them grow because together we grow together. And when you it's like that saying we were talking about last night, you can't beat me because I want you to win also. Right?
Every time I hear that saying, literally 100% of the time, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful saying. You can't beat me. I want you to win too.
Yeah. We did the other day in Orlando, we did the vacation rental seminar. And I was talking to agents and they were like telling them like, "Hey, I'm doing this seminar." And they're like, "But I'm not with EXP." I said, "That's all right. Come over, we share here. You know,
Oh, you mean
see,
because you were sharing all the secret sauce to all
we,
agents, right?
for yeah, what I've been doing, the stuff that I've been doing since '94, in the vacation rental industry, and that we've proven strategies on there, and we shared it with people, and I think there was a lot of people that were shocked that we were doing that, and it wasn't anything that, ultimately, it's when you start sharing and you come from with a culture is sharing, everybody grows. It's just like when you are with a local charity and stuff, and you give back, a byproduct that I never realized when I was getting in. It always seems no matter how much you give back more. Whether it's in the brokerage, whether it's in a charity, it just makes you want to give and give.
It does, and that lesson of, you know, the the more you give, the more the universe seems to come back in abundance. That
Yeah.
lesson, from a professional standpoint, is one that I only learned, and truly peeled the layers back on over the last 4 years. Um, I think I've shared, many have probably heard me share that prior to coming to EXP Realty, I absolutely raised my hand to say that I was kind of in line, stepping in line with what I noticed in the industry, that top producers, other agents, they kept everything really close to the cuff. And, I get it in some ways. And remember back in the day, because you've always been a sharer, and remember back in the day, you would share things and I would get frustrated with you before we came to EXP.
I
I would
wasn't
say,
sharing
why?
as much as I do now. I mean,
Right. But I would be
it was a
frustrated.
fraction.
I would say to you, what? Wait a minute. We're over here dragging our knuckles through a bed of glass and getting all the bloody knuckles along the way. Why are we sharing the goods? And wow, was I doing it wrong, Jeff? Like, I admit, I was in the wrong mindset back then. I was doing it wrong. Now I see. My eyes are open. The more you give, the more the universe comes in abundance.
Well, the more you give, the more. And here's the other thing: is I think that when you give, the interesting thing, especially in the real estate field and what we're talking about in a business sense, you know, majority of the people, you can tell them or talk to them about what to do, but it's in their court afterwards.
Yeah.
And you can, once you give that and you see the people that are going to run with it, they're the ones thanking you. And those are the people that you want to
Right.
pour into, because they become your tribe at the end of the day. And the other people just show up and it's one ear out the, oh, that was great. Yeah, I'm never going to implement that. You know, it, it really does. It brings the people out, the good people out of there that, and they're thankful for it. So it's always, it's just, it gives back.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories was during year one of being with EXP, and one of our mentors who was pouring into us. Like, you and I are very blessed. We have many, many mentors, that we've come to know over the years, and this
Access, huh?
mentor, access, yes, this particular mentor, I was on a phone call, and he said he was sharing something, and I said, "How will I ever repay you for what you've done to help us grow in the education and what you've poured into us?" And he said, "You already are. You already are." And it was impactful when he shared it, but I didn't quite get it. And then fast forward a couple months, and actually it was Michael Prendergast, one of our team members. He called me up and he said, "Oh my gosh, Renee, I just have to thank you. This first few months that I've been with EXP and joined the team has been so instrumental, and I couldn't imagine any other way." And Michael said, "How will I ever repay you for what you're pouring into me, my business, and making sure I grow?" It was like this
Hmm.
mirror, right, to what I was sharing previous. And then in that moment, I almost cried because I said, "Michael, you will be doing it. You are doing it. You'll continue to cascade it out." And that's what makes this train move so fast, right? Is we're all sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, how many lives can you help? and
Yeah.
touch. And how many, when you start talking about, oh, we have X amount of people and we started with six. I thought even when we started with six people, it was like, wow, that's there's a responsibility of being, you know having to bring value to these 6 families. The people there, there's people there, there's families behind the people, and you have to bring value to those people, and to have that cascade out to see that, you can help more and more people. It's incredibly rewarding seeing people grow.
Totally agree. I'm in awe. You and I did a video Wednesday for the EXP Realty Instagram takeover. That was
Mhm.
fun,
That
right?
was fun. That was a good day.
That was a good day. If y'all haven't had a chance to go to the EXP Realty Instagram account, please do. Jeff and I were sprinkling our day in the life all throughout Wednesday, and that content is still on EXP's account. So go check it out. But the one video that we did toward the end of our day on the Instagram takeover was talking about our why. Why did we join EXP, and what does EXP Realty mean to us? You and I are now at a point that we use the phrase life changing. I only
Oh,
started
I know.
using that word. It's probably been 2 years now that I've been very confidently like, this is a phrase I can use when I describe this company. What does that mean to you? How are you able to now say life changing
You
about
know,
a brokerage?
I probably was I I probably was a little later in saying that than you. I've always looked at things and say this has been an amazing company. They've done amazing things. Um, I don't know if I realized how life changing it was, and I really wanted, I just didn't. I was always didn't want people just thinking I was using that loosely. I
Hmm.
guess, but it really became, life changing for our family in a lot of ways, where enabled us to do so many things, and we learned so. And it's not only the financials come in, but it's the agents there giving back, once again giving back, and having access to these top agents and being able to mastermind, and to be able to, sit down at the table with some of these people that we were we were a decent sized team when we came over. We were a strong team, I should say. But we got to sit at the table with a lot of people doing it much differently and on a way bigger levels than us. And we still even sit on people that are doing this on a huge and like they're doing it on a national level. And just to be able to sit there and learn from people and have access to them, and all the agents have this. It's one of the amazing things about the company was the icon program that Glenn envisioned and brought into here. Was one of the cultural things with the icon program was you give back to the community. And for people that don't understand what the icon means to everybody at exp, is when you hit a certain milestone, that basically works out to be the top 2% of the company, that the company actually gives you back your entire company dollar, everything you put back put into the company, in the form of company stock.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any other company that goes out there and will say, hey, my our top people, whatever we made here, we're giving it back. And it really, and it's not even what they made, because they have given half of that away already to other agents, they in rev share. So they are truly investing in their top people and letting them be here. And you know when we first came over, you were thinking, oh, the splits and all these things, and it didn't matter. It was really what can you learn, and what comes in the bank account at the end of the day, and how can you grow. So it was, just growing a lot.
Well, so I get what you're saying with the splits is it then became a line item essentially. It's itemized to say, okay, here is essentially an expense, right? And
Mhm.
we look at the value that investment of a split is bringing. And quite frankly, once again, if myself today looks back at myself 4 years ago, oh my, I had no idea. I had no idea. And you're right. I mean, there's obviously tremendous financial rewarding opportunities. Our family and we've seen so many agents be incredibly blessed with the financial reward, but it is so much bigger than that. I've heard many people talk about EXP Realty as almost as though it is a profession, a personal development organization. And I have to say, I see that and I agree with that. We've grown financially, absolutely. We've grown with our agents to be extremely transactionally healthy, right? We're very focused on being transactionally healthy. We have amazing transactional real estate agents that are doing big things.
Hmm.
And then on top of everything, we're all in this organization learning how to be a better version of ourselves each and every day.
Yeah.
Each and every day. I mean, and in it also, we're surrounded by people that are pushing and encouraging us to be better today than we were yesterday. And I mean personally, better leaders, better individuals, right? Better at what we do when we show up in a room. I had no idea, once again, that that was going to be who we called our brokerage and where we call home.
Yeah, I think before we came here, we were successful, like I said, but we were we were a bunch of lone wolves, right?
Mm, yeah.
We were learning everything, like you said. You got the bloody knuckles, and you didn't have in the other brokerages, you didn't have that model of people helping one another the way they do here. So it's been, that's been probably the most amazing thing here is the people that help and the people that want to see you succeed, because I think so many people have that attitude of you can't beat me because I want you to win also, and they show it every day here. And they win
Oh,
to get, they when we win, they win.
absolutely. What is most surprising to you about EXP Realty currently?
Well, I think I don't know if it's surprising. It's not surprising to me. I mean, the growth has been, amazing in there. It doesn't surprise me, but it seems like so long ago, and it wasn't, that we were 4,500 agents to see it grow to where it is today. Um, the most surprising thing that it's still gotta be the giving, with everybody. I still think that it's the access and the giving, you know? You Elizabeth Riley said she has that saying from University of Texas, right? Is, from the outside looking in, you can't see it. From the inside looking out, you can't explain it.
Explain it.
And it's
Yep.
so poignant. It's so true that, you should just open your mind, whatever you've heard about this brokerage, come and talk to somebody that's here and actually doing it, and find out what the benefits are for you. I mean, then another thing that we didn't never thought about with the brokerage is healthcare insurance.
Oh my
For
gosh,
us
what a blessing.
to get healthcare insurance and to be like, when we moved over, we had a plan. They dropped us. They just, they I guess they didn't drop us. They canceled the plan. And when we went out in the open marketplace, started looking for insurance, it was like, holy cow, this is extremely expensive. We went over the EXP. We saved for our family over $800 a month. We added vision and dental, which we didn't have before. So it was a
It,
better plan
and
for us,
and still saved eight hundred
and
dollars a month.
saved $800 a month. That's a $10,000 a year raise just there. I mean, so once again, you talk about splits. Well, that there, that almost wipes the whole thing out there, and then you're getting back here, and then getting stock, and it really it makes you a business owner. It really puts you in a where you really feel like you have a business, even for a single agent. You can start running your business like a business.
I love that you bring up the health insurance. I think it's a part of the assets and opportunity that we have at EXP Realty that often can be overlooked. When we're in an industry where so many either choose to go without health insurance, or they have health insurance, like even our old health insurance that used to be essentially catastrophic, right? It wasn't like it was some amazing coverage.
Hmm.
And now we're a little over a year into the EXP Realty exclusive healthcare, and I was nervous. In fact, we didn't hop on board to the healthcare for the first year that it was
Didn't give it
available.
as much value as we didn't realize the value that was there. So it's even funny, being in EXP, we didn't realize the value that they were actually handing over to us. That
Well,
it was like
it was
it
nerve
was
wracking.
it was, and I guess it was one of those things that we had something that was working, and then when it stopped working, then you really had to sit there and say, hey, I need a new solution here. And what was being given to us you know by the healthcare providers wasn't it was a solution. It was a really expensive solution.
Yeah.
And to be able to go somewhere and look at this and say, wow, I can save $10,000 a year on health, that's a ton of money.
And
Ton of
everybody
money.
has a different experience. That's our family's experience.
Hmm.
And I didn't know this whole meeting was on the fly. Thank you for coming on board and chatting with me today. I didn't know we were going to be together today. I didn't know we were
No.
going to talk about healthcare, but it is a really good reminder. And there's a webinar that anybody can attend to learn about it. So yeah, I think it's a really important reminder. 4 years. Oh my
4 years.
goodness.
4 years. What's the next 4 years going to bring in? You got a 5-year anniversary next year. Wow. What are we gonna be saying next year, and what are you gonna be saying in the next 4 years? It's I
Thank you is
guess.
what I know I'll say.
Well, yeah, and I guess that you ultimately, I you feel a lot more confident in the future, right? With financially and in business. That's where we're going. I think it's really there's a lot of confidence there. Not that there's never been confidence, but there's you've aligned yourself with the best in the industry.
We've had the opportunity to make some incredible alignments in addition to EXP. If we think about this last 4 years and in our growth that we're experiencing and our agents are experiencing, did you ever imagine we would say that we partnered with the NBA team, the Orlando Magic? Did you ever imagine that we would be able to launch a partnership and bring on board Tom Ferry, the
The-
number
the-
one real estate coach, and partner with the Tom Ferry
Shout out to
organization?
Tom and their organization, because that's been another amazing thing. And that, when we were talking earlier about like, what do you wish you did 4 years ago, like, or told yourself 4 years ago, like, holy cow, what do I wish I told myself, you know, in
10.
'99? Yeah,
Call Tom.
yeah, all time.
What it,
Call Tom's
it's
dad
not the
back then,
number, but
hey,
we should.
who, it was, it absolutely, there's, there's been so many great things with the Tom Ferry organization, and learning from there, and the masterminds are there, and then bringing it back to the people that you have over here, and it just multiplying in there, and it just, yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. He's a one smart real estate mogul.
Well, and we actually hit the gold mine because within the Tom Ferry organization, we're able to work with the
Emily.
amazing coach Emily Kettenberg, and once again, right? Like, oh my gosh, everything happens for a reason, right? And I look at everything the last 4 years and even before, the journey that brought us to 4 years ago today, I look upon with great gratitude. Previous brokerages we were with, the relationships that we had, the professional experience. I have such a level of gratitude because wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for the entire journey. And if we look at this last 4 years, once again, I had no idea. Thank you to everybody that's in our world. And one thing that I always like to remind everybody is our promise is to always be forward focused, to be better today than we were yesterday, and everything that we learn to continue to cascade it throughout to everyone who's reaching their hand saying, I would like more. Will you share? And the answer is, we will always share.
Absolutely. Sharing's fun.
Well, Mr.
Teaching's
Funk,
fun.
happy anniversary at EXP Realty.
Happy anniversary.
It's a little early in the day to say cheers, but
Yeah, it
maybe
is.
this evening.
But it is a Friday.
I don't usually say this in public, but I gotta say, I sure do love you, and it is a forever. You told me hop into this industry. Thank God I listened to you.
It's a
There you
great
have it.
industry. Lots, so many people don't think about it. Well, there's so many different things that you can do in this industry, and it doesn't just have to be. It doesn't have to be sales. You can be. There's so many things on the backside of real estate that maybe isn't the customer facing, or maybe you're engaging with customers in a different way, but it's the only rewarding thing doesn't have to be you know going out and selling a house. There's a lot of other rewarding things in this industry.
Well, working together with you is the rewarding
How
thing
about
for
that?
me.
It's been like, how you get to work with your best friend, right?
Couldn't ask for anything better. And actually, it's our number one most frequently asked question. How do you guys work together so much for so long? We'll save that for another episode of
That
Fridays
is.
with the Fun Collection. Nice little cliffhanger there. Will you come back and we'll talk about all
I
the
will
layers of how a married
come back.
couple
I live here.
spouses? I meant to the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being my wingman, and everyone, thank.
I made the top 5, so just let me know when I can come back.
Oh man, you're the best. Thank you for joining us on Fridays with the Fun Collection. We come together every Friday at 11 a.m. to talk all things real estate. Be sure to drop in comments, suggestions of real estate topics, and guests that you would like to have. And we thank Mr. Funk for coming to celebrate today 4-year anniversary with eXp Realty.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Make it a great day, everyone. Take care.